YouTubers. This is my first YouTube video on this channel. I wanted to start this video off strong. My name is Jeremy Beasley. I am a comic book writer, and one of the books that I actually reviewed, or well, I want to review today because I've recently just read the whole book and I thought it was really good. So I wanted to kind of give you a breakdown of what this book is like, between the acts and everything like that. So first I'll start off and tell you what the book is. It's Batman, Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on a Serious Earth. I do have the book right here, just to prove to you that I do got it. Yeah, of course, I'd have a little flash there. A little backwards, so I'll give you a photo of what this actually looks like in one moment. But it's Batman, Arkham Asylum, A Serious House on a Serious Earth. First things first, it has an amazing artwork if you look at that. And this book was actually written by Grant Morrison and illustrated by Dave McKean. So you have some great artwork here, Mr. Dave. And man, it's good. So we're going to get into this on what this book is, what it's all about. So in case I did not say, DC Comics is who is the publisher of this great comic book. It was published back on November 11th, 2014. And this book does have a total of 232 pages. It is a true graphic novel. It's a genuine one. It's not a compilation or a collection of a bunch of stories. It's actually one solid, straight story. The book actually, if you break it down by acts, because when you read the book, it does not have page numbers at the bottom of each page. So I did read and count the page numbers just so I can know where Act 1 begins, and of course in the beginning, but in Act 2, that one begins on about page 14 and 15 is where you can see that big break there. As you can see on the screen, it'll be actually this picture that you see here. It's cool because it's when Batman actually enters the asylum and you see Joker and all the crazies that have taken over. Sorry, I don't want to spoil anything of the book, so you can read the book. So Act 2 continues there on, and then that actually ends on page 60, if I have my math correct. So that's page 60, where Act 2 ends and Act 3 picks up, and then it comes to this climactic finale. So the story goes very well, and it fits the structure of having a setup to conflict and to resolution. So it continues to follow that traditional trend for the stories. And another thing I've noticed as well is, like Scott McCloud talks about transition and how to transition. And it transitions very well from frame to frame, picture to picture, so it's not stagnant, so you don't think that they're doing the same thing or they're not moving. The picture examples that I have on the screen are actually from the first page, one of the first pages, actually the first page of actual written dialogue. And you see the kid, he's coming up the stairs with the tray, and you can see that he's not just staying on one step. He's actually gradually going up the steps. He opens the door. You see even to the point of the bugs that's falling out of her mouth. And then, so you see that this transition is actually working. And you see that it is effective the way that they do. And this story does allow, with that transition, to make it an effective pull. So it's drawing you in, drawing you to want to know more, drawing you to want to read more, because each page is a story. Because even if you look at this page here, where we start off with the bat symbol and the city of Gotham, and then you got Commissioner Gordon and Batman talking. You see that they're talking about even being late and what's going on. That whole page, you got a beginning, middle, and end. We go to the next page. We see the conversation continues. Joker wants us to talk to him. He touches the phone, and you see that there's a beginning, a middle, and an end. Like, Joker, where are you? Or what do you want? And this still embodies that beginning, middle, and end process. So, whose story is this anyway? We know it's a story about Arkham Asylum, it's in Gotham. So obviously it's a Batman story. It's a story about Batman. But the cool thing is that it's also about the history of Arkham Asylum.
and the people who owned the home before. So you get to learn a lot of history. For me personally, I didn't know. I didn't know about the Arkhams. I didn't know that was actual a people, like a last name. Like those are the Arkhams, and that there's a history there. So yes, it's a Batman story through and through, and you get to see that Batman's goal is to, protect those with the criminally insane. So he's like, okay, I'm going in and I'm going to stop Joker from taking over and hurting these innocent people. So Batman goes in there and he does that. So you do get to see his arc and how he changes throughout the story, even with his fear at the beginning, saying, I feel like I'm going to be at home. So you see him from the beginning have that kind of fear, and at the end of it, it's like, no, this is honestly, it's like not a place for him. Like he knows that. He knows he does better, that there's more good to do outside of Arkham, and it's not a place that he can call home. So it does, I believe, support the character arc. I think that it does show that the characters do evolve, that they do change throughout the story. Very solid story, character arc, and like I said, they do change. Another thing I wanted to hit or point out was if the story does establish or have effective transitions. Yes, yeah. I love the way it transitions from, as we've already discussed, panel to panel. Nothing stagnant, nothing staying the same, and even page to page, it does transition well. So it's not just taking you from one area to a completely different area. Even with the Arkham story, it leaves you where you left off. Like we have in the beginning, it's the boy walking up the steps, goes to his mom. The next time we see them, he's older. His mom passed away, and he lived in Metropolis, and now he's gonna move back because he really wants to help the criminally insane because it's dude Mad Dog. So since he really wants to help him, he decides, yeah, I'm gonna move back. So you see that transition of, even though it was a place that he didn't care too much about because it was kind of possessive, like it was a possession type house. Some people say there was evil spirits lived there. He still wanted to move back because he wanted to help some of the criminally insane. So you see that his character grew and his character evolved, and that's kind of how Arkham Asylum came to be because he decided to do that. Another thing that I learned actually in school is about the effective use of like directional flow. Like, where is your eyes going to when reading this, or how do you direct the reader? And it does a really good job. It does a Z. Obviously, it's supposed to be a Z. So you read it from left to right. So you read it from left to right, and you're seeing it from panel to panel, and everything's flowing perfectly, and everything's making sense, and everything does really good. So, like I said, is this something that personally I would recommend? Yes, I would 100% recommend it because, one, I love DC's standalones. Like, I love their series too. And not to be honest, I do have a lot of those, but I do enjoy reading the one-offs or the graphic novels. There's another one called Joker by Lee and Brian Azzarello. That is really good also, and I had purchased that years ago. But that one's really good too. So yeah, definitely I'll recommend this to friends, classmates, anybody that wants to read comic books or serious about it. I'd say it's a must read because it's different, but it's good. Like if you look at how it's written, it's really good because they break everything down. It's written really well. Like you get the essence of Batman, you get the essence of Joker, and they're not changing any of the characters like Joker's not all of a sudden that somebody he's not in Batman. You get to see an inside of Batman that you don't really get to see that often. Like to see Batman say, I'm afraid, but Batman's not. But technically, Batman's not afraid. It's just Bruce Wayne, obviously. But other than that, like I said, to me, it's a must read. It's a great book. Definitely, thank you for watching this video. Hit the subscribe button. There'll be more content, of course. And yeah, I think it's just a really good book, really good. Because, like I said, it transitions well. It flows perfectly. Recommend it definitely. It's a good book. You got heroes, you have villains, You have a story with a character, with the main goal, with character arcs, and conflict. Conflict is always the main thing when it comes to creating a great story. So, of course, Batman versus the Joker. And it's not even just fist to fist combat, but it's a battle of the minds too. So, I definitely recommend it. Again, the book is Batman Arkham Asylum, a serious house on a serious earth. Really good. Really, really good. Written by the great man, the greatest man, Grant Morrison. There we go. One last time, I'll put this up here for you guys. Written by Grant Morrison and Dave King. So definitely recommend it. Oh, on IGN, gives you this little thing right here. And that says it's one of the finest superhero books to ever grace the bookshelves. All right. If y'all like this, again, I'm Jeremy Beasley, and subscribe, hit the like, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, give me a thumbs down. That's fine. Ain't gonna hurt my feelings. But I'll try to put more content up on here and make sure that everything is good. I got these other comic books. I'm about to review those too. So hope y'all have a good night and good day, whatever time y'all watching this. Peace out. What? Wait, why should they read this book again? You told me a second ago. Why?
Because I'm Batman.